motion that we do not endorse any candidates for District 21. I have my reasons, okay, and I'm just going to impart them to you. We've heard 3 fine candidates this evening speak, and all very talented men, all impassioned. They really want to change things in Washington. We have all 3 of them, and I don't know. Judging from what I've seen in my years in politics, if you're in a primary, which I've been, if you're in a caucus, which I've been, it sharpens you as a candidate to run when you have to run in a primary or you have to run in a caucus. You're sharper. You work harder. Okay, and that's. I have no. Believe me. If you were to ask me who I was going to vote for right now, I don't know if I'd tell you. I don't know if I could really tell you because they all have fine qualities. And that's just my position. Second reason is we have a Democratic organization that puts the Republican organization to shame. If you look around this room and you look at, we are a coalition. We have built a coalition in the last year. We have organizations like Indivisible, Show Up, and we have so many people who have been politically motivated in the last year and a half, that I want those people to have a say. And a primary gives them a say.
Thank you.
All right? I'm just, that's just my, it's my prediction. It's, by the way, you guys did a great job singing Happy Birthday. But it's the way I feel. And again, we want to foster and feed our coalitions, all of them. I have so many people have come up to me and said, well, how do I get involved? What do I do? How do I? And we never had that before like that. I mean, nobody ever walked up to me in the street anyway, but they want to be involved. We have all these people that want to be a part of this movement to change America and our community and our country. And we just heard 3 great guys tonight. They were all pretty good to me. They all have their good points and their bad points and their qualities. But again, I'm making the motion to not endorse for District 21.
Thank you.
Before you do that, don't we usually vote for people when we have more than one candidate? Don't we usually have a secret election here?
Well, right now, do we have a second for this motion first? Yes, Kim?
Yes.
There's a couple seconds. Okay, so now we have a motion and a second. We can open for discussion.
Like I said, I don't think that we should do this without a vote. There should be a secret ballot on this vote of who we're going to support.
Right now, the motion is to endorse or not endorse, and depending on the outcome, then we'll move on to which candidate if it's to endorse. Sam?
Brandy, I have a couple questions. Whether we endorse or don't is immaterial, but I think the problem is the Working Families has already endorsed somebody, okay? So if that candidate fails in the primary, where is that candidate going to be? Is he going to be a spoiler in the election, or is he going to be off the ballot? I have to know that before I can consider what Judge Patton would have said. Because what's happened here is we have a party that's very small that wants to dictate what this Democratic Party does. And we have a candidate that you and every other chairperson in this area has endorsed for the last 22 months, okay? He has stepped up when nobody else wanted to run against the Leafs, okay? And he's done a very good job, and he's raised many, many dollars, okay? So I want to know where these candidates are, if they're going to stay in the race and be spoilers, or if they're going to step out at the end of the Democratic primary.
I know that's an option that they can...
It's an option that I think that candidate should answer the question, okay? And if he doesn't, I would like to entertain another motion after this question is called on the floor.
It's up to you. I don't want to put you on the spot.
It's okay. I've been on the record publicly saying that I will support the Democrat in November.
Everyone's great. So if there's a primary not successful, there's a
The process is that I think anyone who's on the working family party has 2 weeks to decline.
Yep, there's a window that opens up for declination of a nomination. So Dylan, who does have the WFP, said he will decline that nomination. It's going in the minutes.
Will
If he
the
doesn't win
working
the
families
debate.
party
I said
take him
that
off the ballot?
publicly. I said
That takes him off the ballot.
Yeah.
No, I said, will the working families take him off?
They have to, because there's New York State election law, there's a 9.5 years there. There's an opening for once you lose a primary, any other subsequent lines you had prior to that primary, there's a window that opens for you to decline it after the fact.
Can I also just say, I did also step up in the special election, and so that was a process that multiple people stepped up for.
Yeah, the special election guidance of, I was called the chair of chairs, directed the chairs during the special election when we thought Elise was going to go away with an appointment to the UN. I'm not positive, was it 5 people we got down to? We had 4 people we got down to, and all the chairs met downstate and we interviewed all of them. And Dylan was one of those candidates that we did interview when we all were meeting with Blake as well. So it was Blake, Dylan, and Paula Collins, and I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. So, oh yes, I had shredded wheat. All right, so yes, Jeff. Jim, next Jim.
Well, I'd just like to say, that we're the leaders, we come and discuss things here about the party. I think we should have the wherewithal to select somebody that we think should be our candidate for this position. I don't think we should duck anything. I think we should move forward with picking a candidate we think is going to be the most electable for our congressional district. I don't think we should duck it. I don't think we should avoid it. I think we should take it head on and vote somebody in there that we think will best represent us and has the best chance of winning. That, as leaders, that's what we should do. We should pick somebody and stand up and say, hey, this is what we have. I don't know why we should.
What are we doing back there?
Select somebody. That's all.
At a February meeting in 2025, after 15 counties out of 15 counties endorsed Blake Gendebing, the statement that came from that committee was, he was an outsider to the political agenda who embodies the voice and grit that distinguishes this district. From the other side of the aisle, Ed Cox, the New York State Republican chair, said that Gendebing was a far left radical. Typical comment from that side. I did not know who he was at that point. When I spoke to you, I think the first words you mentioned in describing him to me was that he was a dairy farmer, and that kind of caught my ear. I grew up on a dairy farm. I know what hard work is. It's not an 8 to 4 job or 9 to 5 job. You work until the job is done that day. During harvest season, planting season, the equipment breaks down, you deal with it because you need it going. You're always dealing with the weather, whatever. Since that endorsement, he's done an incredible job. He's been to this county, I know of 7 times. So I assume he's been around throughout the district as many times. And when he goes to these meetings, he talks to people and he listens to them. He's not dictating to him his message. But he does speak, he interacts with people. Other things he does too is that it's not easy for a lot of people to speak publicly. I don't particularly enjoy it myself, but and he usually is off to the side of the room and offers those people that want to address him privately an opportunity to do that. I want to talk about the Working Families Party and the Clinton County Democratic Committee. This committee here represents 52 voting districts throughout the county. 14 towns, I think, plus the city of Plattsburgh. So basically every election district in the county has probably 2 county committee people. They may have 4 depending upon how they want to split their vote. And when I circulate petitions every year, You're presenting them to your neighbors and they ask you why they gotta sign this petition for this candidate. He's already in office. I said, well, his term's up. I says, he wants to run again. I says, this is the way we do it. We present it to our voters to vote on. I says, it's not a bunch of old white guys sitting in the back room smoking cigars picking candidates. Now the Working Families Party, do they have a party in Moores? Town of Plattsburgh or some committee members, do they have a Working Families Party in Plattsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do? It's an established party?
Very.
Officers?
Yeah.
Who are the officers?
Tom Wood is main guy here. Jay White. Elliot.
I believe what it is a New York City party that has an extension up here.
No.
And to get their nomination, basically you go online, you fill out an application, and if you're somewhat astute, you know how to answer the questions if you want their nomination. You can join the party, or in years past, you could pay $35 and sit on the interviews. I did that a few years. And I recall a Republican councilman seeking the nomination, their endorsement, I should say. And there was one issue he didn't agree with them, so they wouldn't endorse him. Have any of you ever voted for a candidate where you agreed with every one of their positions? This fall, when you get your ballot, look at the candidates in the Republican line. And you're going to see ditto a line or two down for the conservative line. The conservatives fall in line. Working families, they pick who they want to. And you have to go to them to seek that. They don't approach all the candidates saying, why don't you come in for an interview? The problem with going to a primary is that it suspends fundraising. And it's going to take a whole lot of dollars to win this race. We have one candidate that's raised millions, and from what I've seen online, there hasn't been much money raised by the other candidates. If you go to a primary, it suspends fundraising. People are not contributing. On the other side, we got one guy that's throwing in $7.5 million of his own money. You can assume there'll be a lot more coming in. So basically with the primary, you lose 3 months of fundraising. We've endorsed a candidate. He's gone out and he's done his job, done an incredible job. And I say that we support him.
Julie?
I get that I'm pretty relatively new to this. It's only been 5 years that I've been like actively in politics, and I'm part of the city committee. In fact, I just took over chair last night, and we had much of this discussion last night at that committee meeting about whether we endorse before a certain period of time, whether we endorse at all. My understanding, and if I'm wrong, I concede. Aren't we supposed to be doing that? Isn't that why we're here? Aren't we supposed to say, you know, that we have faith in this particular person? Aren't we supposed to say this is who we, at the time that we, for the lack of a better terminology, believe in? This person has what we as Democrats are standing for. They encompass this, they encompass that. If we don't endorse somebody specific, I agree, we're going to lose, they're going to lose that time to fundraise. And I'm not saying it in no disrespect, oh my God, he's wonderful, and I would never ever disagree with him mostly. I do now. I think that an endorsement has to happen. We did it once. Why? We've done it already all night long. Why does this make it any different? So that's just my opinion.
They're uncontested. They're not, we need support
support all Democrats in this.
Absolutely.
And I don't, by the
Order.
way,
Order.
I'm not saying that we should endorse a candidate that I'm choosing. I don't
Neither
think-
am I,
Yeah,
neither am I.
think- No, I think that we are attracting an umbrella of voters, and we are cutting ourselves off at the knees when we endorse ahead of a primary. Once the primary happens, it's all of our responsibilities to get ahead of.
Can I take the floor back, please? I'm sorry, Jessica.
Sorry,
It's, I really seriously believe that whoever, anybody in here decides to support, whether it's A, B, or C, I'm not even gonna name people. We need an endorsement, we need somebody to fall in behind. I'm sorry, that's my opinion.
Everyone, sorry, I'm extremely new here. My name is Patricia Burnett, I live in Katyville. I had no intention to speak tonight. But what I want to say is our democracy has been under attack for the past year at the federal level. The vibe that I'm getting, the feeling that I'm getting now, is that our democracy is being attacked right now by forcing us into. And I understand for the special election there was an endorsement made, but I think I agree with Judge Padmore that we should do a primary, because we haven't gotten the chance to speak yet, and give us all a chance to speak, rather than strong-arming us into a decision that we're not collectively ready to make.
The endorsement doesn't mean there won't be a primary.
Yeah.
I understand that, but are we all collectively ready to make an endorsement? We just literally heard each candidate speak.
I am, I've been paying
Tonight.
attention for a long time.
Well, as have I, but I know that what I've heard from here, some people are ready to make an endorsement, some are not. It's still very fresh, at least to a lot of us, that we have 3 viable candidates, and let's hold off. Let's not collectively push ourselves into a candidate, and that's all I wanted to say.
Well, that's why we have to vote. That's why we vote for it, so that we can make the determine from everybody in here.
I just want to real quick check
It's
on.
usually a
Is there
secret
anyone on
ballot.
Zoom that's said anything to you, Chuck? It's hard to tell. Okay, any, just Sam? Oh, no, if I could Kim hasn't spoken yet, I'm gonna, Kim and then Kim real quick.
I was actually gonna call the question.
You're gonna what?
I was gonna call the question.
Call the question. Do you need to say something before we call the question? Sam?
No, I think this is a county committee vote, and I don't know if everybody that's speaking is a county committee member. So I don't know, but we're looking for a county committee, I'm looking for a county committee endorsement.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, we've had discussion, any further discussion?
Can we table it?
I just wanted to add one
Excuse
thing.
me.
Let's just see, sorry.
I just wanted to make sure that people know how to vote, if we're voting yes, that means you don't wanna have, you don't wanna endorse, and if you vote no, you do wanna endorse. So just so
Yeah, so
people
the
are clear in
clear,
the room
yeah,
what
agree.
they're-
The motion on the table is to not endorse. So when we hold a vote, if you're voting, you agree to not endorse. So a yes is to not endorse. So a yes is yes, not endorse, no is you want to endorse. Does everybody understand? Yes.
I was just selected this evening, am I allowed to vote?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll make sure.
Yep, it's in our bylaws, you have to be a member in good standing. In addition to being added to the county committee, then you have to be a member in good standing.
Gotcha.
It's 25%, so it's meeting, depending on how many times we've met in a year, 2.75 times in a year. It's not a huge commitment, but we have to make it some sort of a commitment. Any other discussion?
I'm not the discussion, Kim had called the question.
Yes.
Well, I would like to have a show of hands because there's so many people in here,
We don't know who's members and
well,
who.
no, that, you know, I or
Oh,
me would
instead
be
of
hard
I or
to-
understood.
We should have a roll call.
Why don't you stand up in front of us so we know who's voting for what? Because I can't see anyone, and I want to see the faces of the people that aren't listening to the people they represent.
We
So
can
we
have
have
a
a
show of
question,
hands.
yeah, we have a question with a show of hands. So the motion is we're gonna not endorse on the 21st, and to not endorse, you say yes. So all those who want to not endorse, and,
We raise our hands here.
yes, just raise our hands. Mary, did you have a question?
maybe you ought to turn it around, because I think people are gonna get
Right.
either, yes, you wanna endorse, or no, you don't. That way it's easy.
Kevin, do you want to change the motion in a way that's better understood?
Any way,
It's-
any way that will facilitate getting it done. Either way.
So, all those in favor of not endorsing, does that make sense?
Yes.
All those in favor of not endorsing, raise your hand.
That's what I got.
And then, will you please count, and you please count, let's see counts. Get your hands up, put your hand up. And those that want to endorse, show your hands.
Did you count Zoom?
Are they saying?
Did you count Zoom?
No.
We'll add them in after. One's not. So it was close, 17 to not, 16 to not endorse, and 17 to endorse. So then the motion is not, your motion failed, so we will endorse in the New York one.
Did you ask me if I was Molly? I used to, but no, not me.
Uh-oh, Sam, I think we made an enemy.
I'd like to make a motion to endorse Blake Jensen.
We have a motion on the table to endorse Blake Gendevine. Do I have a second? A couple seconds, Terry and Julie.
We're interchangeable.
Any discussion on the motion to endorse Blake Gendevine with first and second? And hearing nothing else, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So should we switch to, well, someone has to make a motion to change the hand. Okay. Okay, so just so we're all paying attention, because I know there's some commotion, people coming and going. So we have a motion on the table and a second to endorse Blake Gendevine. All those in favor? Aye. Good voice.
Raise your hand.
Aye. We have to have a motion, or have to bring that back to do a show of hand, if that's what we want to do. Do we want to back that up?
Make a motion to do show.
Okay, thank you.
Shouldn't there be a paper ballot?
Show of hands.
No second? All right, so all those in favor by show of hand to endorse Blake Gendevine? Once again. And you want to get online? Yep. So all those in favor, we have a show of hand, opposed, a show of hand.
This got out of hand.
Kevin, this is opposed to endorsing Blake Gendevine. Any online? With 23 yes to endorse Blake Jindabine and 7 no, the motion carries to endorse Blake Jindabine. Yes, Jeff.
I just have one thing to say. This is in no way lessening other candidates. If they win the primary, I will gladly switch. Endorse what it is. I feel done what we should do. That's what he's saying right now. And I have nothing against, we have 2 other outstanding candidates. One I think is very capable also, and however the primary turns out, I will support them 100%.
Old business or community announcements, or is everybody ready to go? All right, hopefully we see everyone here, and even everyone that's already left. Everyone is welcome. I'd love to see all the faces here. Our next meeting is coming up on March 24th at 6 o'clock. Also, another reminder, it's from 5:30. Make sure the chairs, and if your chair of your town committee isn't here, pick up the packet for them, please, so we don't have to know that. Happy birthday. And a motion to adjourn? Julie, second, Ray, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience in the meeting, I
Congratulations on your job.
Yeah.